All right, so it is 2023, and WordPress came out in 2003, so 20 years ago. And so, what I have done is I have spent probably too much time and figured out how to get the requirements for WordPress 0.71 up and running on a VirtualBox. So that was a time I guess wasted, but it's also kind of cool. So I have basically here in an extremely old version of Linux, I have a browser where I can go over here to the browser. I'm going to tell it not to recover. And I'll just show you that I've got on this server here, local host, I have a version of WordPress running, the original version of WordPress. And to me, it's just fascinating that I was able to get that up and running. It was all of the Debian repositories are no longer available, so it was a little time consuming trying to figure out how to do it. Anyway, I'm going to minimize this and actually the way I have this set up, I can still access this web server on VirtualBox, but I have it here in a modern browser. So I'm using Chromium something in here, and I will walk you through WordPress. So this is what WordPress looked like 20 years ago, and you can create posts, and really that's about it. um, it's pretty impressive. Let me see if I can log in here. So if I go to slash WP admin, I can log in. I think I reset the password. If not, I'm in trouble. Okay, yeah. So I just set it to admin. The original one, no, I don't want to save that password. Um, it was uh, it was a weird password the way the original install worked. But yeah, so this is WordPress. This is the back end of WordPress. This is what it looked like 20 years ago. Um, just making sure all this looks good. Yeah, you not cutting anything off here. All right, I'm going to walk you through. I've created these posts a couple times here, but I'll walk you through what we have in the original version of WordPress. We can post. There's a team section, which is really just now is called users. There's WP options, and the options are real limited. We can do categories, we can edit the template, and we can manage links, and then we can edit your own profile, and then there's a view the site. So I'm going to go back, open that tab. So there's the website, and there's some pretty funny stuff in here. Let me pull out the README, readme.html. All right, so the requirements are PHP 4, and if you WordPress comes with a, I'm not joking. Within WordPress, there's a PHP info.php file, which is, now you don't want that information, all this information to be public, but it was packaged in the original one, so you can look and see that we've got PHP 444, and I'm going to scroll down to MySQL just to show you that the MySQL connector is working, and I'm running an extremely old version of MySQL here, but it's working, so I'm happy. So PHP 4.0.6, which all this stuff sounds so weird because I've literally have been using PHP since I literally used to go to Barnes and Noble and buy books on it around 2000 2001 or so, and that was PHP 3. So this is pretty nostalgic for me, but pretty interesting stuff here. So PHP 4, MySQL, and then Perl is optional. And the um, the only reason you would need Perl, which is just hysterical to me that's even an optional thing, is that's for the spell checker. So there was a spell checker in the original WordPress. And as you guys probably know, there's not a WP config file, there's a B2 config file because WordPress is just a fork of some software. I mean, real basic as you can see. So let me just walk you through what all we have here. Oh, interesting. So they're showing you in the README some code in here. I did not read this whole README, but yeah, let's just dive into the back end of WordPress. All right, so when you go to the back end, it automatically dumps you into the. There's no landing page for it. It just throws you into creating posts. So I'm going to call this post number 4, and we'll put it in. I've created these categories. I'll show you how to create a category and stuff like that. But you'll recognize a lot of this stuff. I mean, like title, category, excerpts, post, publishing. You can put it in draft mode or private. You can turn comments on and off, pings on and off, and set a password. Very similar to the current WordPress. So really, kind of like this page should look familiar, even if you're not you've only been using WordPress for the past 5 years or so. It still should seem familiar. I thought this was kind of interesting that you go in here. I am writing a post, and and then if you want something to be bolded, you actually have to go over. You can't go back and select the word and then hit B. You have to go over here and hit B, and that puts in the strong tag. And I want this section bolded. And then you have to close it. This is kind of cool. It shows an asterisk there, like, hey, you have an open tag, which is cool. And then if you want to do another paragraph, I guess I should probably wrap it in a P tag. It just doesn't really matter too much. I'm just going to do some paragraph tags, and then this will be, and then I'll start the italicized, and then we have the asterisk here. We can undo it there, or not, or finish it there, and then in real basic. And then if you want to insert an image, I love this. There's no media library. You literally just have to, it does a JavaScript pop up and it's like, okay, what image do you want to call in? So if I call in, in a picture from Aaron, like aaronryman.com / WP-content, wherever my uploads, etc., whatever .jpeg, and hit OK. It asks you what the alt tag is. This is the alt text, and boom. It inserts the image source at that URL, puts a border 0, etc., and it inserts the URL to the image. So there's no media library or anything like that. I can't wait to look at version 1 and see how it progressed. So I'll probably do a video on WordPress 1.0. But anyway, so that's a post, and I can set the timestamp to whatever I want, and then there's not a publish button, there's a blog this button. So we hit the blog this button, and you can barely tell. It looks like I lost everything, but it actually posts here, and there it is. So that's what I just added. If we go back to the front end, you'll see the post that we just created. Real basic, but hey, you got to start somewhere, right? Um, so that is posts. There's no pages, no way to create a page or anything like that. I'm not sure which version of WordPress that came in, but anyway. All right, so users, or as it's labeled here, team. So I have one user here that has a level of 10, and it says to delete a user, bring his level to 0, then click the red X. So seems just real basic, real, I guess, raw is the word I would use. And you click on admin if we want to edit this user. It just does a little JavaScript pop-up, and you can edit it in here. So we'll just, why not? Let's put my name in here and hit update and close window. So now when I go back, boom, there's Aaron. Some of the stuff that I think is really funny, some of you guys probably won't even know what some of these are, but like ICQ, you can put your ICQ handle in there, AIM handle, MSN Messenger, things like that. So it just really dates it. Gonna go ahead and close that. I think that's all you can do in the users section. Options is real basic, and I don't mean this in a negative way at all. I mean, we are WordPress now has 40% of the market share, so I'm by no means slamming WordPress. I'm just showing the history and where we've come from, and maybe someday I'll do something a little more modern to compare, but I just want to walk through this. I'm not slamming it. So in here we could change the archive mode. So this would be kind of like the permalinks, where we used to be able to change, or not used to, in more modern versions of WordPress, you can change the blog archive time post date thing. I'm not verbalizing this well, but you know what I mean. And I thought this was pretty funny. Time difference. If you're not on the time zone of your server, set that. So basically, if I had, I guess I'm lucky because I'm in New York time zone. Technically, I'm in Atlanta, but that if so there's a good chance my server would be in this time zone anyway. It's kind of like a default time zone. But if I lived in California, I probably would want to change that to +3, or I guess 3. Or if I lived in London, I would do like -5 or whatever. And then it has the date format and time format, and it has the PHP syntax here with examples, which is cool because on the existing WordPress site, you have to look that stuff up. I guess it's a little easier now. I mean, there's tutorials galore out there on how to do anything within WordPress, but I could see this 20 years ago. People might not know to go to php.net and look at the time, date and time timestamps and how to change them. So that's kind of cool. But that's pretty much all you can change in options. Well, it's not even options.php. It's just options in the back end. Then you can go into categories, and all you can do is add categories and delete categories. So if I wanted to delete the third category, I can select it and then hit delete, and it's just gone. If we want to create a new one, we'll call this cat number 3 and hit add it. And it doesn't even look like we added anything, but it's there. Oh, okay, number, because I deleted that third one. It's keeping the ID of 4, or creating, which makes perfect sense. So that's pretty much it in categories. Template is pretty funny. So basically, we can edit the index.php file here in the root, and you can see, like, if you scroll down to, hold on one sec, I'm trying to find header, content. So for each post, so it just loops through. And this is funny. Start B2. There's still references to old. I mean, I guess it wasn't old then. Lots of things that aren't labeled as WordPress. They're just B2 prefixes. I was going to show. Okay, so here's the menu where links. So the links are showing up here in. Let's go back to the home page. So links are right here, categories are right here, etc., and you can just see the code. Here's the links, here's the categories, and that's kind of common for the sidebar to still contain. I guess links is kind of dying. I think you have to enable that. You have to put a function in your functions.php file to enable links. But that's old school way of doing things. Pretty cool. And then you can manage links. So we could change, add our what was it called? Blog roll. Yeah, your blog roll in here. So you can add your friends here who are blogging and all that stuff. Pretty cool. And then the My Profile thing just does the JavaScript pop-up where you can edit my own profile. And that's pretty much it. So there's no pages, there's no media library, there's actually creating users is a kind of a manual process. You have to go into the you have to go to a page to create the user, and then you can start editing it. It's, I mean, it's real basic, but it gets the job done. 20 years ago, just the fact that something's in a database saves you time and effort. But that's WordPress 0.71. I hate to beg for a like and a subscribe, but please do it so I can do more. I'd love to do a quick video on WordPress 1.0 and just kind of progress and show people the progression of WordPress. But I'm just glad I got it up and running where I was able to get the oldest version of WordPress to run on a somewhat modern machine. So anyway, I guess via VirtualBox. But anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Give me a like if you can. Thanks.